Good morning, boys and girls. It's Rachel here from St Lawrence Church in Hatfield, and I am excited that I get to come and be with you at collective worship today. I'm sad that I can't be with you in person, but I hope that all of your classes in your bubbles are watching this on your screens and that it's going to be a really fun collective worship time together. Now, here in the background, you might see what we're going to be looking at today. So today is the 21st of September and it is World Peace Day. Can you see? And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the word peace and about peace in the Bible and what God says about peace. So this is me. Look at all those pictures of me. So you might have met me in lockdown. I did some lockdown parables. I did some collective worship videos every Friday. So you might have watched me at home. You might have made some Samson hair like in that photo, or you might have grown a press egg. You might have even seen me in school. That was me in school with reception and nursery before Easter, the last time I was allowed in school to come and talk to you guys. So you might have seen me there. You might have seen me at Messy Church. You might have seen me as part of the summer club. We had a socially distanced vacation summer club. So there's lots of stuff going on in lockdown, and you might have seen me. And hopefully soon I will be at Travis St Lawrence School in person. And you go, "Hi Rachel, I saw you on the screen." So that's me, and hopefully you'll see me around a lot more. So it's World Peace Day, and I've put some symbols on the screen, and I wonder if you know what all of these symbols have in common. Well, they all represent the word peace. So we've got someone making the peace symbol this way round, we've got this peace symbol in the middle, and we've even got a picture of a dove carrying an olive branch in its mouth. Now that seems like a strange symbol of peace to me. But it makes me think of a story in the Bible, and it is actually from a story in the Bible, and that is why it represents peace. The story of Noah and the ark. And at the end of the story of Noah and the ark, after all the animals have been on the ark and it's rained, and all the rain came down and the floods came up, and all the world was flooded, at the end, Noah sent out a dove to go and see if all the waters had gone down. Now, the first time the bird, it flew out of the ark and it flew round and round, and it couldn't find anywhere to stop. It couldn't find any trees to roost on or anything that it could do. And so it went straight back to the ark, and it was like, no, it's not, the water's still there. No, we can't go out yet. Now, the next time that Noah sent the dove out, it came back with an olive branch in its mouth. And that was a sign to Noah that, and it was really exciting, and it meant that there were trees poking up out of the water, that the dove could land on the trees, that the water was starting to go down, and that the world was starting to return. Now, it meant that the world was at peace again. You see, God only sent the flood because the people on the earth at that time wouldn't stop arguing and fighting. This was a fresh start for Noah and his family. And so that was why it was exciting. And that is why the dove and the olive branch represent peace. Now, I came at the beginning, my first ever lockdown collective worship video that I sent out was all about Noah and the rainbow. And I said that there would be a time when lockdown was over, that we were allowed back out from our homes. And that time is now. We're allowed out to school and to lots of places, and there are still some places that we're not allowed to go to, and that's okay. But it's a bit of a fresh start for us all, isn't it? And do you think that we're always peaceful, that we're making the most of our fresh start? Or are there times when you get into arguments and fights, maybe with your friends or your mum and dad, your brother or your sister? Well, today we're going to chat a bit more about peace and maybe come up with some ideas on how we can be forces for peace in our world. So in the Bible, Jesus said this. He said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. Now, this verse always confused me a little bit. You see, lots of people talk about being peacekeepers, about keeping the peace. But Jesus doesn't say that. He says be peacemakers. Now, what is the difference? Well, in football, we know that a goalkeeper is the person who saves the goals, right? He's right at the back of the field, staying close to the goalposts, expecting the worst to happen and just sort of fending off the attack. So he's going to save a goal here and save a goal there. He never really makes an attempt to win the game. He's just trying to stop his team from losing really badly. Now, we don't have a goal maker position in football, but I imagine a striker would be that role, out front, at the front of the football field, working to try and get goals. So they're kicking the goal ball there and they're kicking the ball here, trying to win the match and bring about something positive. They aren't expecting the worst, but the best, and won't stop until that happens. And to me, this is the difference between being a peacekeeper and a peacemaker. Peacekeeper tries to stop him from arguing and make the best of a really bad situation. But a peacemaker is someone out there trying to win for peace, trying to work to make the world a better place, where everyone can live with each other. Now, sometimes that takes sacrifice and work. It means upsetting people more to get peace in the long run. And I have a story to illustrate this. So while you're sitting comfortably, so have a little wiggle. Wiggle your bottoms, mess with your hair, do whatever you need to do now so that you're ready to listen to the story. Okay. So, our story today. Once upon a time, there was a rich man who lived in the deserts of the Middle East. You could tell how rich he was because of what he owned, and especially how many camels belonged to him. In fact, he was so rich that he owned not 2 camels, he owned not 4 camels, he owned not even 8 camels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. He owned, who can count how many camels are here? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 camels. That is how many camels he owned. That's a lot of camels. Which of those camels is your favourite one? Can you point to it? Mine's this one. He had led a peaceful and prosperous life, and so when he was very old and near to death, he wrote his will, explaining how he intended to leave his wealth to only his son, his grandson, and to his one nephew. The terms of the will were these: 1/2 of his riches should go to his own son, 1/3 should go to his grandson, and 1/9 of his wealth should go to his nephew. It seemed fair. Soon after this, the rich man died. Now, when it came to dividing up the camels according to the will, the 3 beneficiaries ran into a problem. So, if half the camels were given to the son, then who's good at maths? So half of 17 is 8.5 camels, which would mean having to kill that camel there, can you see that's got the line through it? So we've got 8 camels and half a camel. If 1/3 of the camels were given to the grandson, that would again mean killing a camel. So he would get 5 and 2/3 of a camel. Can you see that one there with the red line through? That's another dead camel. And when it came to the nephew, there was no way he could get his share unless another camel was killed. Well, The three of them became frustrated and soon very angry with each other. They shouted and they quarrelled and argued and even threatened to go to war over the camels. Secretly, they began stockpiling weapons in their battle campaigns. Nearby, there lived a very poor man. You could tell he was very poor because he only had one camel. Although he was so poor and seemed to have no influence, he still felt that he should do something to help. He wanted to stop war breaking out. He wanted to be a peacemaker. But what could he do? He decided to offer his one and only camel into the rich man's inheritance to help sort out the problem. It was a huge sacrifice. He would have no camels, and the inheritance would now consist of 18 camels. Ah, there's the one camel. That's the extra camel. He's a handsome camel, isn't he? So, the three of the beneficiaries sat down to do sums. So half of 18 would go to the sum. So those of you who are really good at maths, what is half of 18? 9. So he got 9 camels. And they say he's got 9 full camels. No camels had to die. Very good. We don't like camels dying. 1/3, can we see? 1/3 of the camels would go to the grandson. So 1/3 of 18 is, you're right, it's 6. There, look, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1/9 of 18 would go to the nephew. So he took 2 camels. Now, after each had taken his allotted number, to their great surprise, look how many camels are left. My favourite one, down there in the corner, look, 1 camel. So the poor man received his camel back. He had made peace by his willingness to give up all that he had, and it made all the difference. And he'd not lost out in the end. That's great news, isn't it? I wonder what you think this story is saying for us about making peace, about Jesus, who is described as the Prince of Peace. Well, Jesus sacrificed his life to bring peace. That was an even bigger sacrifice than 1 camel. But we know at Easter, he came back to life again. He got his life back. So the sacrifice that he made was worth it. He didn't lose out in the end, just like this man with his camel. Well, now we're going to have a little time of reflection, and often on World Peace Day, people will have a minute's silence. So we're going to do that now. And I know that's probably quite hard in our classrooms, but we're going to try really hard, aren't we, boys and girls? So we're going to bow our heads. We're going to close our eyes. Oh, there's my favourite camel, look. And we're going to have just a minute to reflect on how we can be peacemakers today. After that minute is up, I'm going to close with a prayer, and the words will come on the screen. So if you can read and you want to join in with me, you can. So here's our prayer. So if you want to join in, put your hands together and close your eyes. Dear Father God, thank you that you sent your son Jesus to be the Prince of Peace. Thank you that you sent a dove with an olive branch to show Noah that you would never flood the whole earth again, and to give us a second chance at peace. Please help us to be peacemakers in our school, in our homes, and in our world. Amen. Well, thank you for joining me today for Collective Worship, boys and girls. I hope I'm going to see you all in person soon. And that if you want, you can join in with Messy Church or all of the things that we're doing at St. Lawrence Church. I'll see you all soon. Bye.